What's up, guys? So I'm back with another video, 2 in a row. Oh my god, I'm on a roll. But today I want to look at one of my new lenses that I got. It's actually not that new. I got it probably a month or two ago. This is the Nikon 55 to 200 millimeter telephoto lens. So this is the new one. It's the VR2. So it's the most updated lens, and it's just like the new kit lens where it folds in within itself. And I went out to shoot some to get some tests, or I went out to shoot my little brother playing lacrosse to get some test pictures with this, and I was actually surprised. This thing performs pretty awesome for being as cheap as it is. So, guys, if you are in the DX format and you need a zoom lens, 200 to 55, buy this lens right now on Amazon. You can get it for $100, refurb or used, and mine. Literally, it came brand new. I didn't notice anything wrong with the lens at all. The whole thing was practically brand new. The only complaint that I have is it didn't come with a lens hood. When I was shooting before, I was getting some serious lens flare and glare, and once I put the hood on, and bought the hood actually, it worked fine. You can find them for about $6, so it's really not a huge deal. I originally did have the 55 to 200 non-VR model, the one that came out a while ago, because my mom had that with her lens. She actually had, or she has a D3000, I think. So it came out in like 2006. That's when she got it. So most of the photography I do is in the morning or right before night. So I shoot a lot in the dark, and I was having serious problems getting handheld shots without VR. And I'd have to crank my ISO way up because I had to shoot at high shutter speed to avoid that camera shake. The VR in this lens works actually very well. So I shoot at like 1/30th of a second at 200 millimeter with absolutely no problems at all. It's a great lens. I mean, the only complaint I have about it, if I'm nitpicking here, is that it's all plastic. The mount of the lens is 100% plastic. That's one thing I don't like because it kind of scares me. I feel like this mount is pretty flimsy, to be honest with you. If you look at it, there's not a lot holding it onto the camera, and I feel like it could actually break off pretty easy. Even the 35 millimeter, this has got a full solid metal mount. I don't understand why they don't just do metal mounts for all of them, except for maybe like the 18 to 55, because really that's a lens that you want to get as cheap as possible. But this is considered a kit lens too, so I guess they're going for cost here, but it really can't cost that much more to put a little bit of metal for the mount. I mean, let's be real here. So anyways, guys, oh yeah, this is the variable aperture model, so I don't think DX has a zoom or telephoto lens that is non-variable, because that's just more of a full frame thing, and that's what you get with super expensive lenses. This lens is so cheap, I mean, it's really just worth it. The aperture that this has, this lens is a variable aperture, so it goes from 4 to 5.6, and I mean, that's pretty standard for lenses in the DX format that are pretty cheap. The best lens I own is pretty much the 35 millimeter that gets down to 1.8. I love this lens. I shoot everything with it unless I'm going zoom or shooting a video or the vlog, and I need that 18 millimeter end of the spectrum. I'm looking for a lens that I can get that's wide angle, that's like 11 to 16 or 10 to 24, but they're so expensive compared to this lens and this lens. I really can't afford it right now. But anyways, guys, let's jump into a Lightroom real quick and look at some of the photos I took of my little brother playing lacrosse. And to be honest, I was super pleased with the results. This lens does excellent. I didn't have vibration reduction on for most of these shots because I was shooting at like 800th of a second. So I really wanted to freeze my little brother running around to get some cool shots of him playing lacrosse. He's really good. So anyways, guys, let's move into Lightroom. What's up, guys? So I haven't done a ton of editing to any of the, actually, I don't think I've done editing to any of these. I haven't done editing to any of these pictures, sorry. That's what I meant to say. But basically, I'm not a lens expert. I don't know everything about chromatic aberrations and anything. All I can tell you is my experience with this as an amateur photographer is pretty excellent. So these are just some pictures that I took. These are all NEFs, which I'll probably do some processing later. Some of them are a little bit overexposed. But this lens was focusing excellent. It never seemed to have any problems with focusing. All of them were pretty perfect, even with my little brother running full speed. I was using 3D tracking in my Nikon D5300, which performs pretty well. It's not a D5 or anything, but it works, and I was pretty pleased with it. So here's some of the shots, and really, they're pretty sharp. Color's good. There's not a ton of chromatic aberrations, actually. The corners get a little wonky up here and there, but that's also because they're out of focus. Really, I haven't seen any problems with this lens so far that are major, and I think it works excellent for the price. I think it's a borderline steal. I'm going to upload some of these raw so you guys can download them and take a look at them. Basically, let me know what you guys think about the video, if you're going to buy the lens or not. I really think it's a great lens for $100, and if you don't like it, you can just send it back. I mean, DX format's underrated, I think. You can take some pretty great pictures, and really, you can't tell a huge difference between DX and FX unless you're shooting extreme low light or pixel peeping. They all look great. Only thing is, if you're doing like landscape, you can really grab some of that extra detail out of the shadows and stuff with a D810 or something really high megapixel, and they have a better dynamic range. But as an amateur and not wanting to blow a whole bunch of money, if you're doing photography, a D3300 will be outstanding for what you need. All you need is, you probably need 3 lenses. A fast prime, a zoom lens, and then a wide angle, if you even need that. The only reason I'm looking at getting a wide angle lens is because I'm going to do some photography photos for one of my friends and my grandmother, who's a real estate agent, because people charge insane amounts to do photography for that. So I'm going to help them out. The only problem is wide angles are super expensive, as I mentioned earlier. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video, and peace.